There it is.
That's a chance. Trophies on the wall. That's a chance. Is talking Green Bay Packers football. Not exactly qualified, but answers to call. That's a chance. Talking Green Bay Packers football. Break it all down. About some facts. We gonna make some statements that we'll likely regret. Mostly gossip and rumors. Straight off the top. So crank up the air condition, cause it's bound to get hot. That's a chance. You know we live it and we live it right. That's a chance. We gonna break down football for you tonight. As a ways of putting trophies on the party trophies, y'all. That's a chance. It's talking Green Bay Packers football.
Oh!
Yeah. We talking Green Bay Packers football.
Oh, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Two Dads and a Chaz, the Green Bay Packer podcast with the Dad Podcast. That's right. I mean, if a dad bod was a podcast, that would basically be what and who we are. I mean, fuckable to some, loved by most, and hated by a few, and that's fine by us. We're okay with that. We're here to share our love, thoughts, and most importantly, to soothe our fan-driven, obsessive-compulsive anxieties surrounding our beloved Green Bay Packers. Now, guys, we just got to tell you, we're not writers, we're not journalists, and really we're not professionals of any kind. But we are Hall of Fame, all-pro Packer fans who take this game seriously. Amen.
Sure.
Now, we're going to make up some rumors. You're going to hear some shit. We're going to make some, unwarranted accusations and assumptions and judgments about some iconic professional athletes that we've never even met. So, if you got cheese in your veins, you got beer on your breath, and you got Packers in your heart, well, welcome home, everybody. Side note, we do use crude language here at Two Dads and a Chaz, so put your fucking kids to bed. This ain't Barney and Friends. This is Huck It, Chuck It, football! Disclaimers aside, I am Chaz, a.k.a. the Wisco Kid. I will be your host this evening. Now it's time for me to actually introduce the dads of Two Dads and a Chaz podcast. First up, ladies and gentlemen, he has got the best Packer garage this side of the Mason-Dixon line. He'll slap at the base, and if you get too close to him while he's eating a brat, he will definitely spit in your face. Let's give it up for Tyson, a.k.a. T-Bone. T-Bone, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, coming to you live from my all-gender sports cave here in the garage in my home. I couldn't be happier to be here, Chaz. I couldn't be happier to see this audience. I can't believe how much people are excited about this show, and it is really giving me some life, guys. So I want to thank you for coming. I want to thank you for being a part of it. And everybody, I want to thank you for all your efforts put in, especially you, Chazzy.
I just want to say, we're going to kick it over to, of course, my main man, really the brain, one of the brains behind the operation. I like to call him the Quiet Cool. His name is Aaron, but you all know him as Aaron. How you feeling, bud?
I'm doing real good, Chaz. I'm doing real good. I'm excited now that things have settled a little bit after week one. Packers, we live and die by them. And I'm excited to dive in. What's on your mind, Chaz?
Well, let's just dive right in, boys. I want to get last week out of the way before we start into what's coming up. I want to do a little bit of a final review. Let's just say that the three lessons about the last week's game against the Vikings. First and foremost, Mayu, I'm going to kick it off to you. Things that we learned from, things we want to bring into the game coming forward against the Bears.
I really appreciate that, sir, because anybody who listens to this podcast, we got a lot of fans, and we love all of you. But
do we?
This group of three, we're passionate. We're passionate. We come in hot every single time we get behind the microphone, and collectively, all three of us finally have one. But I got to take a step back here because I dogged A-Raj really hard last week, and that's normally like my go-to. Look, he's the face of the franchise. It's easy pickings, and especially when this guy sits on the fucking side of the goddamn field looking like I just fucked his girlfriend, it makes it that much easier. You know what I mean? But when I went back and I looked at the tape, and I think you guys will both agree with me, is that I think the underlying theme was the offensive line play was atrocious. For obvious reasons, and we delved into that last episode. But the more I saw this guy trying to step back look down the field, open receivers, absolutely. Did he have a time to even fucking throw at them? He did not. And that's not fair. And so A-Raj, I know he's a big supporter of the show. He listens a lot. And I want to apologize. Want to apologize. And then pass it on. Tyson, what do you think?
Number one, Christian Watson was fucking open. I'm sorry, Aaron, but the other Aaron we're talking about, Mr. I'm sorry, Aaron Rodgers, dude. Christian Watson, I went back and looked at the all 22. That dude was open like 8, 9 other times on that same kind of route, like just burning his guy. Listen, I understand. Send a message, blah, 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 blah. Fuck that. You throw to the open man. I'm disappointed that Christian Watson did not get more opportunities after that, considering he owned Patrick Peterson that entire game, turns out. Well, shit. All right. So that's the one thing I learned. Number 2, Kirk Cousins had a fucking game, dude. I hate Kirk Cousins, but I can't believe I'm going to say this. That dude executed quarterback like a fucking pro. Dude, he threw the ball at the last goddamn millisecond. You can throw a ball and still be accurate and hit his man in stride. I have to say, Aaron Rodgers, watch some Kirk Cousins tape and realize what it feels like to play in fucking rhythm, because we were not doing it, and that's why we couldn't pull that shit off. That's why we were looking at the rush. I'm sorry, I know you weren't blaming Aaron Rodgers. I kind of am. Okay. And then the last one, defense looked confused and our scheme is fucking soft. Okay. After that game, I am frustrated by Joe Barry by a ton. I am really disappointed that there wasn't a backup plan, defensive adjustments, if either A, the zone wasn't working and they were ripping us apart with it, or B, we were not getting anywhere near the quarterback. We were getting pressure on him, but it wasn't landing. And I'm just really disappointed in the lack of adjustment, and that once Quay Walker went out, we seem to have no strategy. Our whole defense seems to be built around a rookie. And as soon as he's out, we're just going to play soft man all day, or soft zone all day, I should say, and no man. I know it's week 1. I'm going to give him a break, but ultimately those are the 3 things I learned. Christian Watson was open. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings actually played very good football, aside from us playing bad. And that our defense needs to take a hard look in the mirror. We got some work to do.
Great stuff, brother. I'm glad you actually brought up Quay Walker. We're going to talk about him in just a minute. But before we do, we need to take it to our first commercial break. Are you all ready for it? We always on this podcast have to appreciate our sponsors and those that give us money or food or booze. So the first one, you've heard of Burt's Bees. Well, there's a fun new product actually out there around the market, circling the market, and it is Burt's Bees Nuts. Do you have problems with jock itch? We know you do, boys. You're out there playing football. You want to keep your boys cool and crisp? Get yourself some Burt's Bees Nuts. Coming in 2 fun new flavors, Hydro Thunder and Mentholated. Ooh. Now, certain side effects and symptoms may include, but do not always include, nausea, dizziness, stinky pinky, vertigo, anal leakage, suicidal tendencies, pink eye, COVID, and loss of appetite. Burt's Bees Nuts, thank you so much for being a sponsor here today. I know I've used them, and I got to tell you, my boys have never felt better. I want to talk a little bit about the Bears in a minute. We're going to get to the Bears. Let's just hang on. I know you're both chomping at the bit. I know the way we feel about them, but we're going to talk about just a couple things first. I want to do some new Packer business. Now, boys, we have some injuries. I feel like I'm telling the same story or hearing the same story we said last week. Let's talk about Bakhtiari. Did not practice. Let's talk about Elton Jenkins. Light practice. We got Alan Lazard. Again, these are all names we were talking about last week, but I want to start with Alan Lazard. Now, is he back? Is he not back? Again, I'm getting a little bit of deja vu here. If he is back or not, what does that mean for us? Tyson, I'm going to throw it to you, brother.
I appreciate you giving me that opportunity. Here's in one word what Alan Lazard means to this team. Stability. Do you hear that? Stability. It's what we are lacking and what he can bring on 2 facets of that offensive side. One, He speaks Rogers fluently. He's been doing nothing but licking them balls since day one. Understands exactly what he wants. Okay, so that is very important. 2, this guy blocks the fucking sun. I don't know if there's a better blocking wide receiver on the history of the fucking earth right now than Allen Lazard. This dude blows dudes up, especially corners, even linebackers. He blocks better than our fucking number 1 tight end. So like I have to say, having him pretty much locks down one side of the field for end arounds, which we learned last week Christian Watson's pretty darn good at. Also, he had an amazing offseason, lost some weight. His mustache is on fucking point. And I do believe that when he shows up against Chicago, you're going to remember it. I just have a feeling that we're going to know who the number 1 receiver is at the end of this game. And the name's going to be Allen Lazard. Mayhew,
you know, I got to say thank you for all the information, Tyson. All I heard was great mustache. And you know what? I agree with you. Mayhew, you want to take a bite at that one?
Stash.
I think it's pretty straightforward with Allen Lazard. Like on paper, people are, queuing him in as a number 1, and that's like pretty straightforward news. I'm more interested in the offensive line, if I'm being honest, Chaz. Elton Jenkins, the guy is practicing. I think, fingers crossed, I actually believe he will play on Sunday, and I wonder what the offensive line looks at that point. Now, Tyson, in my mind, the most important position is left tackle, okay? Like, I really appreciate Yash Yaiman over there. He's done a substantially well job. And in theory, we would have Elton over on the right side where like we feel a little bit more comfortable because David Bakhtiari comes in at left tackle. All of a sudden we have the most elite NFL offensive line. And that's what we all hope. I don't see that happening. And let's shift the conversation over here to David Bakhtiari. This guy, this isn't new news. Everybody's talking about it, but cap-wise, he is fucking eating us alive, sitting on the sidelines, and they just continue to feed us misinformation. I have no fucking idea how this guy is doing. How are you doing, David? Like I practice one day and then I take 2 off and like that's like part of the regimen, but then I don't play on Sundays. I need more. I need more understanding. Is it time to fucking move on? I hope not, but I would love to have any idea of what this offensive line is going to look like. And Chaz, you and I talked earlier, Stenovich, the goddamn coach, is like, well, on Sunday, it'll be a surprise for everybody. Oh, what a terrific bout of fun for everyone, right? Jesus Christ. Consistency is the most important thing on the offensive line. And Tyson, I need to see it sooner rather than later. Your thoughts?
Wow. All right. Well, we're moving on to offensive line.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling, boys. I already had him coming up, so let's just keep it going. O-line was one of the next topic. Hit it.
I'll be honest. Like, I don't know what the Packers are doing right now. If we're doing like some rope-a-dope Muhammad Ali bullshit, where we're gonna just like hold back our two of our most vital players until Rodgers gets a significant enough injury, we're like, all right, this experiment's over. Like, I don't know what we're doing here. Rodgers almost killed himself last week, not throwing the ball away after he rolled out of the pocket, had every fucking chance to throw it away and not get killed. Hell, could have been a 15-yard penalty. You know what he did? He went down and was like, break my fucking spine, please. And that didn't happen. But it would have been better if we had fucking left tackle that was like, I don't know, great. Aaron, I can't believe that you're calling out Bach like that. I got to be honest. This guy is a leader on the fucking team in the community. Have you seen the Ellenbach's cheese ads? This guy loves cheese. I mean, he's not fucking around. Have you seen him drink a beer? Do you have any idea who our fucking audience is? They are wannabe Bakhtiaris. So what I must say is that if we don't stand by a guy who's been considered one of the best offensive pass blockers in the fucking game, when we have Aaron Rodgers, who's like, all I want to do is just complete 6 balls, and then I'm willing to run the game plan. But if you don't let me complete those 6 balls, I swear to fucking God, I will take this whole thing down. I will kill myself running into cement walls. We need Bakhtiari.
Well,
we need him.
I gotta say, I wasn't wanting to let Mayhew have a comeback on this one, but I gotta say he looks hungry. I kind of want to see where this goes. What do you got, Mayhew? You look like you got a little pain behind those eyes.
Chaz, I appreciate that because I'm drowning in the river of shit coming out of Tyson's mouth right now. My point is that he is one of the most elite left tackles I've ever seen in my life. Okay. And when he's on the field, he is a difference maker. We also paid him in that manner. And our financial situation as Packer fans, man, as long as we have him, we have Aaron Rodgers, like we are fucking handicapped in a really big way. And if he's on the field, I love it. I love it. But more, it's not on David, man. Let me dial it back here. It's not on him. It's not on him. I just want to know what's going on. Why am I consistently seeing like, well, he's practicing one day, maybe he's not. He might be on the field that day, he might not. I just want to know. I just want to know.
All right. I'm sorry, boys. I want to keep us moving forward just a little bit. We're getting heated here, and I love it. I'm loving the passion. But now I want to give you guys the option. I want to give you the option, and this is gonna be tough. And I want to hear both your opinions on it. Now, do we want to talk Quay Walker, or do we want to talk Amari Rodgers?
Oh my God, Quay Walker.
Amari, you're such a fucking moron, Tyson. God damn.
God,
All right, you go first.
That's
That's fine.
Up right now.
Let's do what Tyson wants to do.
I'm just kidding, boys. We're gonna hit both. We're gonna start with Quay Walker, though.
Let's start with the relevant player that's
actually
doing anything for the team. Great call, Chaz. Excellent work.
We're moving forward. We're moving forward. Don't worry. We're all gonna get where we want to go here. But let's just discuss the importance of the Quay Walker effect. Tyson, you're actually the one that brought this one to the table. So again, I'm gonna let you start with this one. Let's hear it.
Yeah, you're fucking right, dude. You know what? This Goody, he is not afraid to go out in the first round and make some waves. Okay, do some stuff that like people don't exactly understand in the now, but they understand in the long term. Well, I'll tell you who understands what he's doing, and his name is Matt LaFleur. Okay, he realized when you drafted this guy in the first round, we're kind of basing our defense around him. Now that's awesome because I have not seen a linebacker consistently like get me excited about how he tackles a dude in a long time, maybe ever, like on our team, because those guys get hurt right away, usually.
Tyson loves watching other dudes tackle dudes. He loves that.
Love dudes. Anyway, so like no, but really, Quay Walker is not only our first round pick and a rookie and like a middle linebacker, and we added to another thing. We based our defense, we changed our entire concept of the defense, turns out, around this middle linebacker. Okay? We had a great one. We had a top 10 one last year. We had this guy in. We've become a different defense. We are no longer a 4 to 5 to 6 secondary team. We are now a team that's beefy in the middle, that fucking you are scared to go across the middle. You're thinking twice about those edge routes because your dude's like, I don't want to do that again. That guy just broke my spleen, right? Like you want a guy like Quay Walker, an enforcer, and I can't wait. I hope he becomes loud at some point because I think he has potential to be a Ray Lewis-esque presence in this division because there's not a great middle linebacker. I guess you could say
Mayhew. I'm seeing a little bit of a reaction there, buddy.
I think the Quay effect is everything. Unfortunately, I think we may have put almost too much on it because we saw last week what happens when dude goes out. We're like, whoopsie, we don't have last year's defense anymore. We got to figure out a dumbed down, no Quay Walker version of this, which doesn't look super awesome. So like I'm also like it's a double-edged sword, and I see that. Aaron, what do you got to say? I value your opinion. I think you're beautiful. What do you have to say?
Tyson, it was the I agree with you on a lot of facets there. I apologize. Let me gather my thoughts just real.
Well, while you're gathering your thoughts real quick, let me just read one. We're getting live tweets, ladies and gentlemen, as we're literally doing this. The first one here is from Jenny from Greenbow, Alabama. She says, life is like a box of chocolates. Sometimes you shit the bed. I mean, I get it. I hear what you're saying. I don't know what that has to do with football, but Mayhew, go ahead. Continue what you were going to say, bud.
Quay Walker fan to the extreme. Tyson and I, we talked about this last episode. We watched this guy get drafted number 1 overall in the first round this last year, and I was questioning it. hard. I went back, look at the tape of him in college, and it started making sense to me. And then this guy played 36 total snaps, boys, through PFF. And aside from his coverage on top of Justin Jefferson, his score from the entire day was outstanding. The guy flies to the ball, he goes sideline to sideline, and more importantly, he's like the most physical presence I've seen like in a long time. So something that I think we all agree has been missing drastically. And you pair him with like Campbell, and in the middle of the field, I don't know if we've ever seen this kind of talent my entire livelihood. And so I'm incredibly excited for this guy. And the moment he went out, it was felt. It was felt immediately. Like Tyson was saying, like Chris Barnes comes in, and I love him too. Like, don't get me wrong, guy got injured almost immediately, and then we're on to like what else? And the defense struggled the rest of the day. Justin Jefferson, he ate us alive. I don't think that had anything to do with the inside linebacking core per se, but Quay Walker is a quick riser in my mind. And if you look at like what the coach says too, it's fucking coach speak. But man, it's just like, yeah, we love him. Think he's great. Plays with speed, plays with heart, plays with power. We just need him to figure out the game more. And I think he will. The guy played 36 fucking snaps. And I'm really excited. He's back at practice, boys. He's not out. Shoulder injury. We'll see how that plays out. But I mean, I can't wait to see him against the Bears, honestly, in a couple of days.
I couldn't agree more, brother. I don't mean to bring this back up, but Tyson, I got to bring this up. One more tweet here, and I was scrolling while I was listening to me here. This is from Milwaukee Mama 6969. When are we gonna get to see Tyson shirtless? Ooh, we got some fans out there, bud. I'm not saying we should do it. I'm just saying maybe think about it. We appreciate your business, gentlemen. I'm gonna keep things rolling here, but I mean, I wouldn't hate to see you a little doughy body out there, bud. You know what I'm saying? Maybe just give me a little taste sometime. But anyway, we were talking about Amari Rogers. What's that, buddy?
I was gonna say maybe we can make a contest out of it. Maybe we're like, hey, when we get to 1,000 subscribers, Tyson will show his bitch tits. Maybe we'll do something like that. It'll be a really exciting day if anyone gives a shit about my tits, which I'm.
Dude, I like the bitch
the
tit
internet
1,000.
even fucking cares about my tits. I'm
That's
starting to wonder.
Chaz, mark that down.
No
The bitch
wonder.
tit 1,000.
1,000 subscribers equals bitch tits.
Bitch tits.
But anyway, I'm gonna keep it going here, boys. We did bring up Amari Rogers. Like, can we all ask like how we got here? Like what is happening? Aaron, can you take a little bit of this for me right now? I just, you go for it. I don't even know what's happening.
I would love to, because I was, I think, one of his biggest supporters from the get-go. Okay, Clemson receiver, guy had returning potential. Highlight reels, go back and look at it. I'm like, okay, really excited. Not only that, he had ties to Randall Cobb. He was training with him, like basically leading up to the draft. He had a quote where they were like, in a dream scenario, where would you want to land? And he said, I want to be a Packers receiver. All things pointing towards us, right? The guy falls all the way to the third round. We pick him up. I couldn't have been more fucking ecstatic. And I think Tyson feels the same way. I'm like, man, potential galore. Now, the guy comes, and we're desperate for a returner, man. If anything, I'm like, that's where you shine. Because that's all Randall Cobb, like, the original Randall Cobb, that guy was a fucking flash and just a fucking gamer. You know what I mean? So they're like, well, he's kind of like him, but like, thicker, stronger built. I'm like, can't wait. No, the first impression I got of him was like, if you stuck your feet into like a pot of molasses and then tried to run through quicksand, that like maybe that was kind of like my definition of Amari Rogers. And my brother was the first one to kind of point this out. God bless his soul. And I thought like, okay, I'm like, okay, year one, do I got to pass it off? I got to pass it off, don't I?
No. I mean, you were on a roll there, buddy. I didn't want to stop you.
Finish.
Yeah, I'd say I finish the thought, brother. You go for it.
Right. So everybody gets year one. Okay, you kind of work out your kinks, and like I get it. It's shock for rookies. It's a lot to take in. You know what I mean? So like year two, I'm like, okay, this guy's been working in the off season again. Fucking Randall Cobb has quotes about him. It's like this guy has been getting after it like nothing but heat. We're gonna, work him into the game plan. Nothing, nothing. And here we are in year three, and I just want to touch on this real quick before I pass it off. Is we went through just overall snap counts last week of potential receivers: Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, like the rookies have completely surpassed him. And honestly, boys, none of us even realized that he didn't even take the field one offensive snap. Not one. And if you want somebody to sit in the backfield and catch a fucking punt and just kind of wave it off, like he is your guy. But I'm expecting more. Tyson, tell me I'm wrong.
Man, what the fuck? What the fuck are we doing? What are we even doing right now with Amari Rodgers? I don't understand. Yeah, I want to be a fucking Packers receiver too, Aaron. We all want to be. Chaz could have been great, right? Just didn't get a shot.
Yeah, you put me in the slot. I'm taking you. I'm taking
Yes,
you.
you got legs. You got hands. Absolutely.
Day. You saw what happened on the Bulging Stallions. Okay, this guy can flag football. He can regular football. Okay, that's a fact. Now, no, but for real, what are we fucking doing with this Amari Rodgers? Why are we wasting a roster spot on him? I'll be honest. I was a fan. I was waiting. I love when the brand's right, dude. I love it. I was a Ted Thompson guy against all fucking odds. I'm like, let me tell you, this guy might really pan out. I'm going to stick with him, I can name a number of shitty players, but I stuck with the brand. Now, I've heard other people talk about the third round curse, and there might be something to it because I'm a superstitious fellow. But let me also say this. I think that maybe Amari Rodgers is a head case, and I don't know that we have enough open spots on this roster to help this fella through his challenges. I'm glad he had a good career in Clemson, hanging out with fucking Rapey Magoo down in fucking Cleveland, okay? I'm glad he had a good life before the Packers, and he always wanted to be one. But dude, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it on the field. This guy is in his own head. He's making mistakes. We have cut guys for making one of those mistakes. It's the fact that he was the GM's third pick is the only and final reason he is on this team right now. And if he doesn't turn into a significant contributor by week 8, I honestly think that this could be a historical black eye in Brian Gutekunst's history. If he does what a good GM does, gets any kind of value, or just cuts him so we can get someone who's a contributor on this team, then I'm all for it. But at this point, I'm done with this experiment. I'm ready to move on.
I love it. And I want to say one real quick point. Black eye, Tyson, I agree. You and I have had these discussions too on these GMs. They fall in love with their draft picks, and they should allow them time to develop and to pan out. But once you can see that they don't, the ability to cut ties is what the greatest GMs do, Chaz. The greatest GMs are willing to admit mistakes and fucking move on. And I think honestly, Ted Thompson was one of the worst. I feel like Goody is actually he gets it. I think he gets it, but he's hanging on to this one a little bit longer than I would like personally.
Interesting. It's kind of like that's like what is it? That's what their job is. Interesting. Okay. Well, gentlemen, I'm hearing the passion and I'm feeling it. It's scratching me like scabies. I'm going to take a hard turn here. We got to talk about something that's been in the news recently, and I can't believe we're still talking about him years later. And you know who I'm about to bring up. It's Brett Favre. Brett Favre is recently in the news for basically defrauding the state of Alabama as far as giving money or taking money away from poor children. Guys, how the hell are we still stop fucking up, dude? Die a legend. No, you already went to the Vikings. I mean, I know you guys have heard this story. Tyson, I can see you bubbling literally with steam coming out of your ears. I'm gonna give you, okay, this is a 2-minute drill for you. I'm giving you 2 minutes, but that's it. Go.
Oh, that's impossible. 2 minutes. Okay, all right, here we go. Brett Favre is a notorious middle rider, and I don't even want to get into my feelings on Brett Favre because that'll take way more than 2 minutes. So I'm just gonna bypass that shit somehow. I'm gonna move right into the fact that he is a notorious sayer of nothing. I want to be loved by all while being enabled to be like kind of a whatever the fuck he wants whenever he wants, and sometimes that's a piece of shit, and it's fine, right? He ends up in this home state being like, hey man, I want my daughter. And his daughter's like, man, our volleyball court sucks. And he's like, oh yeah, you know who I am? I'm Brett fucking Favre. Okay. I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna let him know who my name is, and that's gonna fix it right up, darling. She's like, is that right, Daddy? He's like, yeah, it's right, darling. So he goes in there and he's like, I'm Brett Favre. I want a new place. And they're like, well, we're going to need to fuck 4 people, but it's not a problem. He's like, as long as it doesn't come back to me. This is a classic Brett Favre not understanding technology problem. Okay. This guy has a long history of creating permanent fucking breadcrumbs to his stupid choices, being like, is this going to come back at me? I don't want to look like an asshole for fucking these poor people. Like, he understands exactly what's going on, and he put it in permanent fucking writing so you can see it in email. He's like, I'll send this to Gruden, someone honorable who will, make sure that it keeps it under wraps. Here's the thing. I think that he went with this woman because she had 2 N's in her name. Nancy New. He's like, I can remember that. I can't remember nothing. I can remember Nancy New. She happens to be one of the most evil fucking politicians of all time. This bitch was like, I cannot wait to fuck anyone poor, especially black. Let's shut him down, okay? Brett, you on board? He's like, I have no idea what's going on. I just want my daughter to be able to hit spikes in a new fucking place. And I like your name, Nancy. I always have. Let's take a lot of pictures together. 20, 30 pictures, Nancy. Your name's, you never know your last name starts with the same letter as the first. I'm Brett Favre. I used to play football, and I still could. Anyway, yeah, don't make sure it doesn't come back to see me. I'll put that in fucking permanent writing. So Brett Favre's a fucking idiot, and that's why we love him. That's why we fell in love with him, because he was the idiot, like our idiots that we live around, who could be like, that guy's crazy, but he succeeds, right? And then they get old, guys, and it gets sad. It gets sad every time. All right, I'm done. I'm done.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is just a fraction. I have spent hours of my life listening to Tyson talk about Brett Favre, and the fact that he was able to do it in just a few minutes, I got to say, my hats are off to you, sir. My hats are off to you, sir. Aaron, you got a little comeback here? You got a little feedback?
I don't, Chaz. I'm just disappointed.
I mean,
and I think Tyson, I don't know where to go off of that. I mean, that's yeah.
I mean, right? I mean, give it up to the guy. I mean, he really covered the whole thing. That's you said it all, my friend. You
can't believe I said it in 2 minutes. That's incredible. I've never done anything that amazing in 2 minutes. I'm usually like at least a 15, 16 minute.
Well, again, I'm going to take another hard turn, gentlemen. Oh my God, God love you. Oh my God. I'm going to take a hard turn. We're going to get a little more into, now take a breath, boys, a little bit of current events. We're going to get into some current events. We're going to start looking at the week that's coming up. And we obviously know what that means. I'm going to hit you with just a couple of things right off the bat. We're talking about the Bears. I mean, probably my favorite team that we get to play every single year. Oldest rivalry in football, at least the most fucking fun. Just a couple of things right off the bat. As far as the last 10 years that we have been playing them, the Bears are 3-17 against the Packers. 3-17. The Bears lost the last 6 games against the Packers. The last time they did win was 2018. The last time they won in Lambeau was 2015. Now, we're going to have to talk about a lot of stuff here, but right off the bat, I know we want to talk about how miserable they are just as a team and as a franchise, because we naturally have to, kind of hate them. Hate, love, hate. We can talk about how we feel about that. But Mayhew, I want to hear your thoughts about just the matchup. Go for it.
Thank you, Chaz. For me, honestly, it's like easy pickings. Chicago. We've talked about rivalries, and they are like low on the totem pole just based off of performance. Borderline joke in the past. But I'm not trying to look ahead of these guys either. I think that's an important facet of like this conversation. Is trap game potentially? I don't know. Let's dig a little deeper. Now, new regime, head coach. I'm looking at this here. His name is Matt Eberflus. I actually don't know who the fuck that is. I don't know where he came from. Can he, like Tyson, Chaz, like enlighten
I
me?
can't even
Like,
spell it. I can't
I've
even
never
spell
heard
it.
that
So
name
I
in my
don't.
life. I don't know what that is.
that's what I'm
No
saying. A lot of
idea.
coaches like rise from other like teams is like, oh, that team is good, so like we'll kind of pluck him.
Feels like a
I don't
made-up
fucking
name.
know who this guy is, but all I know is he's 1-0. This
Mhm.
motherfucker is 1-0
Mhm.
on a the most rainiest fucking shit show of a watershed game ever. And I think Chicago literally felt like they won the Super Bowl last week, and I think that might be their downfall. Now, let's dive in a little bit into some of the players. Let's some of the stars. Some stars. Okay. So wide receiver wise, as far as Pro Football Focus gives a shit, is Byron
You
Pringle.
couldn't even say that sentence just now without laughing through it. Did you
It's
hear
tough.
that?
It's tough, Chance. It's tough. Byron Pringle, 84.9. All right. I don't he came over from another team, I believe, in free agency, and he's,
Chiefs.
finding his ground.
Chiefs, they won a Super Bowl.
Yep. Damn it. Kansas City? T-Bone?
Yeah.
Where it
Yeah, but
All right, stop interrupting me, by the way. Now let's make a
you.
point here. All right, Tevin Jenkins, offensive lineman, 77.9. This guy was drafted in the second round. They were fucking Jazz. They tried to move him over to left tackle. He failed fucking miserably. They moved him over to right tackle. Same situation. Moved him to right guard, and he had a decent day. We moved down to the bottom of the offense. This is my favorite part. Justin Fields, quarterback, 44.2. I actually don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback score that low before, as far as regards of Pro Football Focus. But hey, man, it's just numbers. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm just here to judge everybody. All right, fullback. Oh my God, they literally have the fullback on the numbers here. Kari Bedlesingakame, 45.5. Completely fucking irrelevant. And then we move on to running back David Montgomery, who I actually loved coming out of college. Felt really bad when he landed on this team. 45.5. He seems like he's in no man's land. This team, in my mind, doesn't really know what the fuck they're doing. They basically got into a game where there's so much fucking water on the ground that San Francisco didn't quite know what to do. And then when it really mattered, they made a couple of key plays. Now, Chaz, you're literally the only person in this group that actually watched the game. Do you feel differently?
No, I mean, again, we keep calling it the monsoon. Like I've heard everybody just say like it was weather based, it was weather based, it was weather based. And I talked a little bit about this last week, so I don't want to beat it. I don't want to beat it over the head. But like when you have a team like us that are in the Midwest that actually don't play in pussy domes, yeah, I said it. You get used to playing in a certain kind of weather. It's going to be cold. It's going to be windy. It's going to be rainy. But like the amount of rain that was coming down in that field, I got to tell you, they're saying it was an advantage, but I'll say what I said last week. I don't think it was. What the only advantage they had was that the 49ers did not show up to that game. That's it.
Yeah, also
Very well said. Very well said.
The Chicago Bears are accustomed to playing in a hellscape of a shit ass stadium with like 80-mile-an-hour winds, rain, awful sleet, terrible fans, awful architecture. Like really, like they are used to dealing with like terrible ownership, terrible coaching, terrible drafting, terrible training. Like they have to go against all odds. You know what I mean? And at a point, there's a point where people can't go any further. You know what I mean? I think the Bears have no chance to succeed, and I honestly pity them on a level that's hard because I'm surrounded by Bears fans on both sides of my house. They're both Bears fans, and I just watch them like mow their lawns during Bears games because they won't even watch because it like burns them so badly. Like I say, I think it's a condition, and I refuse to consider a rival like a one-armed homeless guy with a peg leg who like used to drive a boat, but he got bit by a shark. And I'm like, this is the bad guy. This is our bad guy. Are you fucking kidding me? That's not a bad guy. That is a tragedy. Okay. We should give him change and soup and a nice shelter. Okay. That is sad. And I feel like the Bears can do better than what Chicago is doing, and the Chicago can do better than the Bears. Like I feel like this is like this is like an obvious divorce that needs to happen. Love it. Anyway, fuck the Bears.
Very eloquently put, Tyson. Just to touch on some of their key players, though, I know Dominique Robinson. So this cat, he's a 5th-round draft pick, rookie, graded out to 89.8 this last game. Disruptive, had 1.5 sacks, multiple disruptions, and like got after the quarterback. I was actually impressed by the tape that I looked upon. Eddie Jackson, 75.5, safety that's been there for multiple years out of Alabama. He's been absolutely solid. Now, what's surprising is we go down to like the lower performers again, according to Pro Football Focus. Roquan Smith, motherfucker drafted in the top 10. I think honestly, Pro Football, just fucking hates this guy for whatever reason, but he scored a 28.1, which I've never actually seen before out of anybody. And beyond that, it's a bunch of fucking trash boys across the board. I'm not trying to say that we're going to own this team, but I feel like if we don't beat the Bears with a fucking reckless abandon, I'm actually questioning the coaching staff, the preparation, and overall talent level. Am I wrong?
I'm going to lose my fucking mind if we go up 0-2, losing to the Bears and the Vikings. Guys, I will burn this garage to the fucking ground.
Whoa!
I will do it! This is unacceptable! We are better than this. If we go down to the Bears, there's a lot riding on this, guys. A lot more than people realize. A lot more than my insurance company realizes. That's for fucking shit.
Okay, I get you, and I gotta say, as I'm getting older, there are a couple things that I'm starting to notice that are tried and true in this world. 1, never trust a fart. 2, never assume that every time we play the Bears, it's not a fucking trap game because they're gonna make it the goddamn Super Bowl. So we always have to be prepared for the likelihood that you A, might shit your pants if you do think that's just a fart, and B, that the Bears are gonna fucking show up when it's time to play against just us. I was literally just watching Aaron Rodgers talk about to a super fan who runs a Bears podcast. He's like, "Is it true that you actually treat that as the Super Bowl?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." And guess what? If I did consider them my Super Bowls, I got a better record than you. So I'm just saying we can't at all. We can't give them a leg up. We got to start from moment 1. We got to be prepared. We got to understand the why in this game that's coming up. And I hate to move things on real quick, but again, just because of the way parameters work, I got to just do this last commercial from our sponsors. This one, ladies and gentlemen, if you are like us at Two Dads and a Chaz podcast, then you love 2 things: drinking and shooting guns. Big guns, small guns, some as big as your head. Silence guns, you name it. We are all about them. So when you're out there with your friends, make your way down to your local sport goods store and pick up Big Johnson's clay pigeons. That's Big Johnson's clay pigeons. They're great for everything. Game day, bar mitzvah, stocking stuffers, because Christmas is just right around the corner. So if you want to get together with your friends and shoot some clay pigeons, get out there with Big Johnson so you can skeet all day long.
Small Johnson.
Oh, Mayhew, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. You looked like you did want to say something. I'm gonna take it back for just a second.
No, sir, not at all, not at all. I just saw a couple of tweets coming in here.
What do you got? Lay it on me.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. What do we got? We got Barb 828. out of Middleton. Oh,
Ooh.
that's not a good sign. Honey, if you could just swear a lot less, it'd be a better show. Anyway, stop slouching. Love your mother. God damn it, Mom! For the last time, who showed her how to use Twitter, first off? And Mom, God, stop embarrassing me in front of the guys. For Christ's sake. I'm sorry, guys. Chaz, back to you.
No problem. I've loved your mom's Twitter for years.
Embarrassing Mayu since '96.
Woo. Now let's talk about a couple. Just because we already did, I want to hit on two things when it comes to this Bears game that's coming up. I want to talk about Justin Fields because I will say, and it's the only compliment that the team is probably going to get, is his ability in the pocket last week did look pretty good. It reminded me of somebody who obviously didn't show up for our game. And two, I'd like to talk about Montgomery and Herbert on the running for the backs. I want to start with Justin Fields. Any thoughts, boys? I'm going to keep this one a little open-ended.
Aaron, I'll let you take that. I mostly hate it.
I apologize, boys. I missed the question entirely.
I got it. Don't worry, champ. All right, so here's the deal. Justin Fields is a guy who played for Ohio State, had a fucking free ride, got his dick sucked by a bunch of cheerleaders, thought everything was going to be great, went to Chicago, realized my boss doesn't know dick, my coach doesn't know dick, my fucking playbook is nothing but just dick pics, just like run this route. It happens to look like a dick. This guy has no chance, and I hate him. That's all. Back to you, Aaron.
Ladies and gentlemen, he doesn't mince words. He speaks it tried and true every time. Mayhew, any thoughts?
Who are we talking about again? I'm sorry.
You know what? We weren't talking about anybody. Let's move on. David Montgomery and Herbert. How do we feel that the running game, is our defensive line going to be able to hold up against their running game? Because we've been talking about this, and we talked about it last week. We're waiting for this defensive line to show up. We've been waiting, and we've only been one game, sure. But how are we going to defend against those two running backs?
I'll take that, Chaz. Thank you. Yeah. If you look at the numbers, last week I was a little bit hard on this crew than I should have been. Maybe more in particular, like Kenny Clark showed up. The guy penetrated, got after the quarterback, lots of pressures, did what he was supposed to do. It was more like all summer long, we hear about Jerron Reed, God, fucking Dean Lowry, all these guys that, like, collectively, we're supposed to be this presence that we're going to push the fucking pocket, make life on everybody easier. You know what I mean? We did not see it week one. We didn't, in my opinion, looking back at the tape as well. But I think offensive line wise, Chicago is piss poor in my opinion. Where I'm hoping all of these thoughts that were supposed to happen week one, I think may come to fruition week two after that crew looking at tape, getting their fucking just getting screamed at basically by their coaches, woken up. And like that's the first foundation of this defense. Pressure from the fucking D line. And then we got the yep. And gonna move.
No, I'm just happy that you brought up Kenny Clark. I mean, that guy was a fucking beast. I was watching some of his highlight reels. I mean, he was attacking with low numbers. I mean, when I say I mean like right between the numbers and with fucking violence. He was swimming past guys. He was throwing blocks after the play. But Tyson, you look like you got something to say.
No, it's nothing new for Kenny, man. Kenny's the fucking man, and it's so funny. We get all these guys coming in. They're like, oh, they're going to be a hot shit. And they line up next to Kenny Clark. They're like, oh, no, they're not that special. Look at Kenny Clark, you know? That guy's incredible. I have to challenge something Aaron said, and I'm really sorry to do it, Aaron, because I think you're just a great fella. But I really think that Larry Borum is like a problem. Their right tackle's good. I can't say that their offensive line is good, but they got two of them. Whitehead's good, and Larry Borum's good. I would love to tell you they're not, but they are. They also got our old guy, what the fuck's his name? Whatever. Anyway, he came from us, middle line. He was a right guard, sometimes center. He ended up coming to them. They're calling him a week one honorary captain, which is just sad. Again, showing that the Bears live to like potentially beat the Packers. Like this is a very important week for them. But no, but really, I think Larry Borum is a problem because he goes up against our best pass rusher. And if he can shut him down, it means one of two things. Either Smith is going to have a big game, or we might be frustrated sitting here watching Justin Fields, a guy who makes like multiple mistakes every single game of his entire career, like have some positive plays against us. And if that happens, I better see some fucking emotion out of this team on the offensive, defensive, and special team side. Because if you don't think you're better than the Bears, then just jump off a bridge. Because seriously, we're the Green Bay Packers. I cannot fucking stand it if we lose to the Bears. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable.
I agree with you, Tyson, and I don't like agreeing with you, but you put it down on paper, and you're telling me that like Aaron Rodgers and like what we have, regardless of how you feel about it, versus Justin Fields and the fucking surrounding cast, and I think that's a whole nother like point. Is like Chicago basically was like Justin Fields, we really believe in you. We're gonna surround you with like absolutely nothing at like the lowest possible fucking cost. Now, on that spectrum, few people I do believe in. There are a few, okay? First one, tight end, Cole Kmet. I think that's how you say his fucking name. I don't know. Guy's like a third-year guy, tight end out of Notre Dame. He could be a difference maker if they fucking
Third
utilize
year,
him.
is that right? That guy's played on like 4 fucking teams. He's a third-year player?
Right? Now,
Denver?
Darnell Mooney. I've
Bucks?
drafted this motherfucker multiple times because I fucking believe in him. This guy is like an elite wide receiver. If he could have a quarterback that could throw him the fucking ball. I don't really know. I just feel like this team there's like pieces in place, but what they're trying to do, they're always going to be a decent defense. That is fucking Chicago in a nutshell. But offensively, they have no fucking idea what they're doing, and it starts from the top down. Tyson, like
I stand by
tell me I'm
David
wrong.
Montgomery is not fucking shit. David Montgomery is not fucking shit, except for a dude that's going to get 30 to 40 fucking opportunities a game to do anything. Are you kidding me? This guy gets breathed on and he gets knocked down. I hope he hears me, because fuck you, David Montgomery. You ain't shit. I'll tell you what, who is shit is Herbert. Their backup, I'm scared of him. That guy's got some serious fucking low-end drive. That guy can get underneath dudes. That guy is quick. He's also fast. I don't see any power in David Montgomery. He's all hype, no pipe. Fuck that guy.
Go ahead, May. You look like you got a response. I see you over there.
You love him all you want.
Look, I want to hate on this team more than anybody. And the more and more I talk about it, especially after watching like week 1, is like we need to fucking watch ourselves, boys. We need to watch
Absolutely.
ourselves and like look at what we're capable of doing. And I'm looking at this team that we're about to come against on Sunday Night Football under the bright lights, and that always makes me nervous, you know. But defensively, they're always going to be strong, okay? And we're still offensively trying to figure out our fucking identity. God damn, week 1 was an atrocity. I'm hoping week 2 kind of comes into fruition. But I think Justin Fields, I'm sitting on the outside here. I actually think he's like a decent quarterback. If you like surrounded him by a bunch of talent, I'd be really curious. I really would. Unfortunately for him, this offensive line fucking sucks, and like the rest of the cast is fucking trash. So let's mow these motherfuckers down and move on to week 3. Tyson, am I wrong?
Well, no, hang on. I mean, like that you've segued us into the perfect bit. We're gonna get into the fourth quarter here with our podcast. But that's gonna lead us right into who will have a huge game. Who's gonna have the huge game this week? My personal prediction, it's not who will, it's who I'm hoping has a big game. And at this point, I'll just take one or the other. I want to see Jones and AJ Dion getting out there. I want to see some targets. I want to see some more catches, especially to Jones after last week. Boys, I want to hear it. Who's gonna make a difference in this game?
Aaron, I'll let you go first.
Jesus Christ. Stop passing to me first. Who's going to erupt this game? It better fucking be Allen Lazard. And just to shut everybody up and be like, oh, we got a problem at wide receiver. No, we don't. God damn it. We got a fucking number 1, and we got rookies coming up underneath. And Sammy Watkins is going to get the fucking lead out of his legs, and like it's going to be okay. Everybody, it's going to be okay. All right. Tyson, your thoughts?
Oh man, I think it's gotta be the man that must have dominated Aaron Rodgers' nightmares all week, which is that whoops to do. I left Christian Watson open like 18, 19 times. How about you throw the fucking ball to the rookie who we drafted earlier since fucking Javon Walker? He's the earliest wideout we've ever drafted. He's the fastest wideout we've had on this team. How about this? Give him 18, 20 balls. See what happens. Against the Bears, if you can't afford to do it then, when can you? I know he hasn't had an off season. I know he dropped a whole ball, but get the fuck out of here. I want to see him having high likely successful plays. I want to see him burning the team deep and connect on one of those and watch this offense change. And then you'll see Romeo Dubs getting open. Then you'll see Bob Tunyon getting open. We need one dude that they're afraid of that they need to double. And his name is Sammy Watkins. Or not Sammy Watkins, I mean Christian Watson. Damn it. Too many Watts on our team.
Well, I like that. And that's going to lead us into the next bit. I want to know, who do you think is going to have the first touchdown? I want to know who's going to have the first touchdown for the Packers this week. I know who I personally want, and I'm only going to say it because we were just talking about it. And I want to see a redeemer. I want to see Christian Watson get another 75-yarder down the right side. I would love to just to start a game. If we can go right back to him, do the same thing one more time and just get a little bit of a redemption song. I would love to see that happen. Will it? I don't know, but I would love to see that, mainly for him. I know how great that would make me feel. I know how great it would make all of us feel. Who's scoring the very first touchdown? Aaron doesn't like when we go to him first. Tyson.
It's a terrible network, but I'm going to stick with it. CW, baby. That's Christian Watson. He's going to get the first one. He's going to change the dynamic of this team, and he's going to change the national opinion of not only Aaron Rodgers, but the validity of this wide receiver team. Because if he doesn't, dude, I cannot deal with everybody bitching. And I think he's actually pretty special. So give him over 10 balls, see what happens. I think it's him. Christian Watson, CW, baby.
Mayhew, what do you got?
Look, man, I think we talked about this last time, and I'm looking for a drive of Matt LaFleur's fucking brilliance. I'm talking like chess piece playing all across the board. Who's going to get that TD? Wild card for me, Josiah DeGuerra. Okay.
Ooh,
We're gonna get down to the red zone. It's gonna be like a little bit of action there. And like, dude, that guy is underutilized. He's got the talent, he's been open, and he's dropped fucking passes all last year. I'm like, man, no one sees it coming. No one's covering this white guy that's pretending to be like a fullback. You know what I mean?
He's starving like a fucking gymnast, this guy. He's starving. Give him the ball. Starving.
Chaz.
Let's go to the next part. I want to ask, we know who's getting the first touchdown. We know who we want to see score. I want to hear what you think the final score will be. The final score. Tyson? Prediction?
Boy, I am gun shy because last week I went hard and I was wrong. Okay. And I hate to be wrong, as you all know. That being said, I'm going to stick with the same opponent's score of 17. I think that they're going to somehow find a way to get 2 touchdowns, one probably on special teams and or defense, the other one like probably in the run game, and then a field goal, right? That seems like the Bears. That being said, if we do not get at least 24 points, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
Understood.
It's going to be 17 to 27. 17 to 27 is my final score.
All right, 17-27, Tyson.
Packers,
Obviously.
God damn it. He makes a lot of good points.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hate agreeing with that piece of shit. But 24, I'm going to call it 24-13 because I do, man, after watching this last game, I know I went a little bit high. That first round, boys, what was it? Like 97?
99. I thought it was 97. Yeah, 97.
Yeah, like mathematically not even possible. I got excited right out of the gate. And I believe in my team. But I think let's bring it down to earth. Let's realize that this Bears team does want to fucking dude, the rivalry is there. The defense is plausible. So I'm going to go, Chaz. Let's call it 24-17.
24-17 for the final.
Yep.
All right.
Bears over Packers.
All right. I'm liking the numbers I'm seeing here, fellas. I got to go a little bit more conservative. But judging by the numbers and what we have scored against the Bears in the last couple of seasons, it's usually, no matter what, we're getting at least 3 touchdowns. So I'm going to go more of a closer game because I prefer them to be closer. I love the drama of it. I like a close game. I'm going to say 26-23. Just because I think that I worry. I would love a blowout. We all love a blowout, but I worry that the Bears are going to come ready to fucking play. And we've seen it happen before. But as we're getting into the end here, ladies and gentlemen, one of our favorite things we like to do here at Two Dads and a Chaz podcast is we like to talk about our favorite Packer memories. It's something that kind of keeps everybody a little grounded. I feel it's our moment of the podcast. Tyson, tell me one of your favorite Packer memories.
Okay, one of my favorite Packer memories, and I feel bad because I don't exactly know the year, but I will say this: I was on the road with band at the time, and I was having a great time, and we were playing. I believe in Chicago, and it might have been somewhere else. Sorry if it was, but they had a really cool thing going where it was Chicago because they almost got beat up. It was Chicago, and they had one of the theaters was playing the game live, and they were playing the Packers Seahawks game with Brett Favre. It was the final year Brett Favre was, I think, our quarterback. I think that was it. And there was the snowball game where he's throwing snowballs at Donnie D. Dude, I was jumping up with my guitar player, doing like back jumps like the Packers were in this theater with a whole crowd roaring. It was incredible. It was like a whole theater of Packers fans in Chicago, of all places. It was absolutely amazing. It was a great time, and I broke my phone to fall out of my pocket. But I remember not giving a shit and looking up, and like as we scored a touchdown on Donald Drivers getting carried on Brett Favre's back, thinking like, this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. The hope, the belief. This is the year. It wasn't, but I believed it was. I was with my family, and to me, that was one of my top Packers memories ever.
It's a great story, brother. Mayhew, you want to take a little one on this one?
I would love to, Chaz. Given the rivalry this eve rolling into Sunday, the year was 2014. We were fucking dominant across the board as a team, but every time we face Chicago, I feel like it's a little bit different rivalry. And like we saw this last year, where Aaron Rodgers basically was like straight up, I fucking own you guys. But for me, I was at my in-laws' house, living the dream, as you guys both know. And he proceeded to score six boys first half touchdowns against a team where like it was the most demoralizing. Like we're like you look away for a second to grab a slice of pizza, come back like, oh, touchdown. Oh, like did I run up to the bathroom? Oh, fucking touchdown. Just some of like the most incredible offensive iconic play I've seen in a long time. And it's one that sticks out in my mind forever. Chaz, how about you?
I got to take mine back to 1997. I was 10 years old. We were doing back-to-back Super Bowls. I don't know if you guys remember that. And we were playing the fucking Broncos. I believe that was the year. Wasn't that? No, we weren't playing the Broncos. No, we definitely were playing the Broncos.
That was the year the Broncos won.
Oh, he shook his head. I was like, no, it was the Broncos.
In disgust. I'm sorry, in disgust. That's all it was.
Yeah. So I was just really starting to find a love for the Packers because it was a way to spend time with my dad. And that was the first loss I can ever remember. I know we went to the Super Bowl in '96. I know I saw it, parts of it. I was young, But I remember that loss, and I will remember that loss forever. And the thing I liked about that the most, and why I'm bringing this up now, is that was the first time I remember my dad sitting me down going, hey, this is not the end of the world. You're a Packer fan. This is going to happen to you. It's been happening to us for years before we got this team that we have now. And it's going to continue to happen. You got to take losses as a Packer fan just the same way you take a win. My dad would always wear the jersey the day after a loss. Wouldn't wear a jersey the day after a win, but would still show up and represent his team, because that's what this team means to the people.
Chazzy's dad's a fucking champion. Let me just throw that out there. That guy is what winning in Packers is all about. Just throwing it out. Love it, buddy.
Shout out to you, bud. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have to wrap up here at Two Dads and a Chaz podcast. We are super excited for week 2. We are super excited to take it against our rivals, what I consider to be our arch nemesis. I'm talking Batman style arch nemesis. I cannot wait to play the fucking Bears. Gentlemen, I want a closing thought. You're both going to get 30 seconds. I'm going to start with Mayhew this time. Go for it, brother.
I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be matched, and I think it's going to be tight all the way up until the end. And I think that's important for our defense to find their way through that game and our offense to find a fucking identity, but get the goddamn W, and let's fucking move on to week 3. Tyson?
Arch nemesis, more like annoying customer. Okay, I cannot look at these guys like that. If that's how we're looking, what the fuck's going on, guys? What the fuck's going on? I thought that we were like a Super Bowl team. I thought we had a defense. I thought all this shit. I thought we had a great quarterback, okay? This is the week to remind people who the fuck you are, because if you don't, dude, if you don't, I'm going to lose it. And everyone else is going to lose it too, okay? You can't be this good and lose to 2 dog shit teams in a row. You can't fucking do it. I have to believe that our team is better than that. And that ought to be our biggest motivator, that if we lose to the Bears, like, we got a real problem. Real fucking problem.
And I got to say, guys, all of Packer Nation needs the Packers to beat the Bears, because I don't know if you've ever been to Tyson's garage. It's beautiful. We can't have him burning it down. My closing is going to be this. If we play proper huck it, chuck it football, if we give him a classic case that he'll fucking go Pack go, if everybody shows up to do their job, and I mean, I'm talking coaches on down, if we show up and we know the why and why we're playing, why are we doing this play here? Why are we doing that play there? Why do we show up and even watch this game? On top of that, it's home field advantage. The numbers don't lie, my friends, and I don't want them to. I just want to say something that we always say at the end of Two Dads and a Chaz podcast. I love the Packers. I know we all love the Packers. Mayhew, let's hear it.
Look, boys, the go fuck is really good, but in this particular case, I feel like it's different. I want something a little bit different.
Oh, you're
not
right.
the classic.
No. Go ahead.
I just kind of want the whole city of Chicago to eat shit. All right? Can we do that collectively?
That's dangerous. There's a lot of guns there. There's a lot of crime, but let's do it.
So
and as we always say,
eat shit, Chicago! Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for supporting Two Dads and a Chaz Packer podcast. The Packer podcast.
Idea. Aaron down there.
We want to say thanks again to our sponsors. We would love to thank all of the people that came in and tweeted. We would love to thank Burt's D's Nuts. We would love to thank Madam Pinkerton's Beaver Hut and Exotic Dance Hall. We would love to thank Backdoor Security and, of course, Big Johnson's Clay Pigeons. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure to pod for you tonight. If you'll excuse me, I live in Texas. I need to go and get Star Spangled Hammered. Oh, play me out, ladies and gentlemen. Play me out. Way better.